Hi, and welcome to Securing the Stacks Reconnaissance Lab. This time we're going into Google hacking and really hyper-focusing on practical search operators for reconnaissance. So let's check this out. So just to take a step back, really, what is Google hacking? And no, it's not about hacking Google. It's really about leveraging the power of Google for reconnaissance through advanced search operators. This was pioneered by Johnny Long. You could see one of the books, his latest book in regards to this book series that he co-authored. And also Johnny was behind the Google hacking database, and this is really fascinating. Just for learning about these different advanced queries that you can leverage, through Google. But one thing I do want to note that if you try to search, sometimes the search functionality on the site can be a little iffy, so to speak. So what I really recommend is to go down into the categories and just kind of read through the different categories and whatnot to kind of familiarize yourself with what different these advanced Google searches, what can they be leveraged for, and what kind of different areas, etc. That's where I think that the exploit database, Google hacking database, really shines. Okay, so what about just like if you did want to go ahead and do some searches? Well, I basically through this GitHub link, I already opened it up. What you can do, this is a pretty long list as you can see, and these are the quote unquote Google hacks, or what are also known as Google dorks, right? Which are basically just these queries that you can put straight into Google. But what my recommendation is we're going to be going through some practical situations of using Google for reconnaissance within this tutorial series. And once you learn about an advanced Google search operator, right? So we have extension right here, file type. I mean, to take a step back, we're not going to be going over every single one of these operators within this series because I just basically am hyper focusing on the ones that I think will give you the biggest bang for your buck. But what I do suggest is once we kind of go through an operator to go through here and search so you can kind of familiarize yourself with other just use cases of a given operator. All right, so let's keep going. So just some general information. I really see this is, the level of this is really pretty much everyone. What I can say though, even outside of reconnaissance, if you're a developer, I heard this one quote that was pretty funny, and it said, good coders code and great coders Google, right? Google is just even when I was a developer, a fundamental part of my workflow, right? So learning advanced search operators is a very helpful skill to have, even outside of reconnaissance. And even, okay, what about those Devops engineers or any devs that are, behind launching a site in general and dealing with the infrastructure? Okay, well, from that standpoint, you can basically take these searches that you're going to find here in this tutorial series, put them into Google Alerts, right? And then you could basically automate that and get feedback back to, say, an email, or maybe even do a Slack integration, which is pretty powerful, from a different email that Google Alerts kind of feeds into. Anyhow, but what you can do is you can really start automating the reconnaissance of your own site to make sure that you are not leaking any information that you that might be totally unintended, right? So this is a really good practical application, both for devs and DevOps engineers. So really, what am I doing? Just like I said, we are going to be focusing on search operators in practical situations, right? Your time is limited and I value it. And what are some examples that we're going to be going into? All right, this is where I'm really getting pumped, right? So a phishing campaign simulation, which will be leveraging financial documents from board of directors meetings as a social engineering kind of angle into a phishing campaign, and how these advanced Google search operators could, help uncover some of these financial documents that are then fed into this phishing campaign. Also, searching Nginx logs for error responses while adjusting for output variability. That's another thing that you can do here. It's pretty powerful. How to find an admin area within source code or other functionality. We're going to be looking at a live example of Hack This Site. And also, just what about just searching timestamp ranges within PHP error logs or any error logs, right? I mean, if you find error logs on the internet, it's like, really, who cares if that's from like 2001, right? So how can we adjust for searching timestamps or timestamp ranges within a given error logs and only give us the error logs that are relatively recent? Very practical. Okay. Well, if I haven't covered it already, that'd be kind of like the intro. I mean, but why, right? Why do we want to do this? Why is Google hacking advantageous? Really, on top of just the items that I already brought up, it's very passive, right? So it's really hard to trace. Why? Because Google's making the connection to the site, not you. So, all right, and additional help, really go online and search for Google dorking. And this is really synonymous with Google hacking, right? So all of these items, as I brought up, like each one of these is each unit of these, so to speak, is a Google dork. Okay, so you can really kind of think of that as as kind of a way to search and kind of help yourself here if you get stuck. Other helpful websites, Google Guide, already pre-populated. Open this up. This is really powerful because you can kind of look around for other, just how Google works under the hood regarding its kind of search syntax and whatnot. And you'll see some of the other ones here as well that I didn't cover. You can even, it goes into searching for stocks and street maps and all kinds of stuff. So I would really kind of recommend to go through here. It's a relatively good resource. And the other thing that if you're in a super pinch and for kind of forget the syntax, well, what do? Well, or if you're in a super, if you're in a big pinch, right, for time and you don't want to, kind of go back and look through all the search operators that I covered in this tutorial and you just want to get going very, very quickly, you can go to the google.com/advanced search. And this basically allows you, basically a form, and behind the scenes, Google will put these with certain advanced search operators, many of which we will cover in this series. Now, this isn't as powerful because you can't use, say, multiple. I mean, the combinations here is a little bit limited, or if you're using multiple kind of the same search operator or etc. But just as a way to get up and running very, very quickly, I highly recommend this /advanced search right here that Google provides. Okay, well, it looks like I'm just going to stop here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. We'll be going over some pretty awesome situations. So look forward to it. Look forward to it. Bye bye.